right, that one means we roll one of these dice, of the black ones. Oh, that is lucky. That is a 6. That is exactly what we need. Hey everyone, this is Thecos, and today I will be showing off Between Light and Shadow, Chapter 1, Dawn. I'm really looking forward to show this to you. So first of all, a huge thanks to Benjamin Schultz from Boardgame Racoon for providing me with a review copy here. Okay, a few disclaimers before we get started. First of all, this video is long overdue. I've been wanting to do this video for a year or 1.5 years, but I'm just getting around to doing it now. There are many reasons for that, but I'm finally doing that. So the more I'm excited to show off this unique game here today. Second disclaimer, this chapter has several scenarios, and usually, if you know my channel, you know that usually I show off the first scenario to kind of show like how would the game start for you. I will not do this today, so consider this your spoiler warning for this video. I will be showing you scenario 3. I know it's not the best thing because there are like more spoilers, but the thing is scenario 3 has like a bit of everything. Of exploration, of movement, of combat, of events, of missions, of like everything, right? And that's why I'm gonna show you scenario 3, and I plan to play through the entire scenario for you today. Third disclaimer, this is not a full teach, right? I will be playing the game and showing you how the game works so you get a feeling of how it works, but I will not go into every single small rule, right? The more you have to discover when you actually like play the game yourself. And then last but not least, of course, if you like what you see here today, feel free to check out the webpage of Boardgame Racoon. And also, if you are at Spiel this year, they will be there as well and presenting their new games. And I'm really honestly looking forward to like seeing all their new outings as well, because this is a really unique game, as is the other game that I reviewed, which is Clue Roll and Heist, that I also reviewed on my channel and played through it, and also very unique. So yeah, looking forward to that. All right, with all of these disclaimers out of the way, as usual, grab yourself a cup of tea and let's do this. All right, there we go. So for setting up the game, I will not do a montage today because I just want to show you how quickly you can set up this game. So we take this out of the box, like a really small compact box, by the way. And then we just take like everything that we need. It's really not a whole lot. This is a very compact game. I need to like somehow put these like together at some point. So we just take everything out that is in the box. Which is not a whole lot, as I said, right? I didn't wipe away my last adventure here. I didn't wipe away everything. I will still have to do that in just a moment. So what we have here is we have like 4 sheets, character sheets. We have like 4 game sheets. I will go like over them later on in detail when we play through the game. And these are like like some thick and hard like foam kind of thing, right? They're like really cool, really nice materials here, and you can like, write really well on them as well. So really like this. I've never seen that before for such a roll and write, right? So we will just be putting like the sheets here. This is like the way I arrange it usually, right? But you can also like do it differently if you want to. So let me just put that straight here, just like that, right? Next thing you do is like choose one of these characters. These are these cool acrylic standees here. I'm choosing like the sorceress here, and we will just put her here. Because that's what the scenario demands. Then also like have the rules tutorial and the campaign scenario by your side. The rules and tutorial actually is a tutorial, right? You're playing through like the pre-scenario, so to speak, tutorial scenario, and you're getting like to know the rules like more and more as you go. Really cool way of teaching a game. I really like this. And then here you have like all the campaign, and all the scenarios. We will look at scenario 3 in just a moment. As I said, consider yourself spoiled here. All right, then also we have this pen here, right? It's just a pen you can like wipe off here. And then also we have like these 6 dice that we need. We need them for movement, for combat. I will get to that a little bit later. And that is already pretty much the setup. The last thing that is missing is like the scenario specific setup. So first of all, we need to change these numbers here to 5, 3, and 3. That is just like for the scenario. Usually it's like 444. What that means I will tell you a little bit later. And then we just take the scenario book and see like what else we need. So we have 6 health, that's right. We have 0 determination. We have 8 food, which is not true. So now we have 8. And we have 2 coins. So I will just cross out the first one because we only have 2. We also start in Raven Tower right here. And I think that is almost the setup. Last thing, or one of the last things missing, is this here. You see like we have like all these little cards. This here is just a card that you can just put here if you want to, or wherever you want to. This is just a reminder of how a turn works. And then we also have, let me just quickly find it. These are all the wrong way. So and then we need to find the 2 cards that have S3 on them. But since I just played the scenario, I kind of messed up here. I didn't put it back last time. So here are like 2 cards that say S3 on them. There's a little description of how the scenario works here, but in essence, you want to turn those over. And then the city encounter, you see there's a pre-print city encounter. That's for the last scenario, I think, and for the first one. We just put that here on top. Really cool system of doing that, because now these letters here correspond with these encounters. And also we turn over that one. No, wait, I've already turned that over for the task, for the goal of the scenario and the tasks. I will get to that a little bit later as well. And now I'm just gonna wipe off like the things that I put here last time, so we can just start playing here. And what I will also do to round off setup is I will just remove this sandy here, although it's like really nice, but I will put a red one, a red meeple here instead, so you can better see it like when looking there from the top. So. And with that, we can get started. So, what is this game? This game is a solo game, a pure solo game, where we like walk around a map. We have a specific goal for the scenario. We have a story underlying, and we are exploring the land. We are moving around. We are gaining items. We are using resources. We are battling creatures in order to reach whatever that scenario has in store for us. This is a very unique game with very unique mechanisms. It looks very complicated at the moment, but once you know how it works, it's not that complicated. So let's start off this playthrough by reading through the story of Scenario 3. If you just want to see the gameplay and not be spoiled with the story, then just use the timestamps in the description, like below the video, in order to jump to whatever part interests you the most. Scenario 3, When the Raven Calls. A rustle of wings, a black feather, a throaty call. This dream can only mean one thing. She's calling you, and she has a task for you. For years you had served the hermit in the Raven Tower and traveled the land as an emissary of the Raven. But you had never received a call from her until now, and so you rushed to the Raven Tower. Dark visions had haunted the hermit, raging beasts craving human blood and all-devouring flames over Stormhurst. Something evil was unfolding, and it had already begun. The earth had been shaking in the Storm Mountains for days, and rumors were circulating that a giant spider was attacking people near Barrenfield and drinking their blood. But no one wanted to react to these threats, which appeared so soon after the corruption of nature and the Shadow Plague that the hermit did not believe it was a coincidence. The druids of Woodstead had fallen into agony since the corruption. The scholars from the great desert were too busy with their research, and the guilds tried to play down the looming danger. So the hermit had called the priesthood of the Raven to take action against the dangers themselves. While she delves deeper into her visions, you are supposed to help her to prepare the resistance. First, provide her with proof that the unnatural frenzy of the creatures is already spreading. Traces of magical influence should be found in the venom of some raging creatures. She could then present these to the guild so that they could no longer deny the danger and had to take action. Against the threat to Stormhurst, you should bring her a magical metal, focus silver. She would use it to create a powerful artifact to oppose the evil that has made even the Storm Mountains tremble. That is the story of the game, of the scenario, and our goal is to fulfill all tasks in the Raven Tower. Let me show you how that works. What that means is the following. We have a Raven Tower here, and like these are our city encounters. You always see like letters here, and the letters you see also down here, right? And Raven Tower has 2 quests, A and B, or 2 encounters. And the first one is E needs to be crossed out, and B is that the spider and the scorpion are defeated we can see. Oh, I also forgot to put the to erase that. I'm sorry for that. There's so much that I had to erase, but I think now I should have everything. I hope. You see, the scorpion is here and the spider is over there. So these two we need to defeat. And the E that we need to do is the two skulls here need to be crossed out as well. That's it. We just need to cross out these two and defeat these two, and then return to the tower. That's it. But it is harder than you may think. In general, what you see here are 4 different sheets. We have our sheets here with the map where we are moving and tracking like our time down here. Here we are fighting. This is the character sheet for battles and also for our equipment here. Up here we have the encounter sheet with the city encounters. We have the creature encounters, which are fights. And then also we have our loot here, our loot table. And here with the supply sheet, with the story events, with our supply status, with our experience points, because yes, we can also level up, and with our achievements. That is pretty much all you see here. And now I will not explain the game in advance. I will just start playing the game and explain it as we go. So first, what we always do is movement. And before we move, we always cross out the first boot here on our time track. Whenever we get to the end here, we lose. And whenever there is like an arrow pointing to something, we need to resolve that. Either lose rations, so lose like food, or do an event, right? Except for this one here, this one doesn't count. This is only if we play with like different events, but we play with those, so we don't use that. All right, so these 3 faded out boots means that there are some scenarios where these are not used, but in this one they are. So we cross out the first boot, and yes, we already lose 1 food, so we just cross out 1 bread here. All right, and then we usually roll all 6 dice, white and black, and put them in here for available dice, and then we can move around. In this scenario, there are special rules. Instead, what we do here is we take 2 black dice, we can place them to any value we want, and then roll the rest here, right? So I will explain to you in a moment why I'm doing this, but I will put a 3 here and also a 2. Come on, there we go. And now we just roll the rest of the dice. We place them all here. And we have duplicate numbers a lot. That's not good. That is not good. All right, so and what we now do is, now we just plan our movement. That means we take these dice and we put them here. And you see there are like specific directions here, right? So if you put a black 1 here, we can move like diagonally upright, or we can move up with that. But we can only put like 1 die on each of these numbers, right? So we can only use each line twice, so to speak, if we had the same number in white and black. Also, we do want to try not to have much many more black dice than white ones. I will get to that in just a moment. All right. Also, what we also can do is we can also do orientation. That means we can put a die here and then add or subtract that number from a different unused die of the same color. So if I put that one here, I can turn that into a 6 or a 2, right? And what we can also do is make it a way. That means we can spend 1 determination, which we don't have, or 1 boot in order to change any die to any value. All right, so where do we want to go? We want to go down to these skulls here. But first we will go to Stormhurst. Why not? So I will just go, I want to go diagonally down, and then I want to go down completely. So, and I will do that. Down we can go here, and diagonally, actually, let's do, yeah, I think that's fine. And down we could go with a 5. Yeah, this is not very good. With a 5 or with a 3. We don't have any of those, right? We don't have any of those. So instead what we could do, yeah, it's kind of weird, but we could put a 4 here and a 2 there and a 2 there. Just like that. I could also place these 2 here if I wanted to, but I can't because they are already dice here, but we could theoretically, but I will not at the moment. All right, so, and now we will just do the movement, right? So we take like each die, put it down here in the used dice box, and then we just move. So I will put the 3 here to move diagonally here. Then I will use this one here in order to move to the left. And then I will move this one to move down here and this one to move down here, right? So that was already my movement. Now, if I had more dice here, I would still stop because every silver or gold bordered space here will like end our movement completely for this round, right? So even if I had put 2 more dice here, that would be it. These skulls only interrupt my movement. I can like move after I have like done whatever is there. All right, so after movement, at the end of movement, what we do is, first of all, we check, have we used all dice? If yes, we gain 1 determination. We haven't, 2 are still up there, so okay, that's it. And then we check, we used more black than white dice? We haven't. If we had, we would also lose another boot and like resolve whatever it points to. So that is fine. Now we are in the city, and now we do the city encounter. Had we been over here, we would do a monster encounter. Would we be here, we would like resolve the dangerous location, right? Wherever we stop or are interrupted, we need to do whatever it says there. So now we're in Stormhurst over here. So we see we do have a quest here, and that is to turn in like the quest of having like crossed out these 2. We don't have that yet, so we can't do anything in that city. So we will just do a new round. New round means same thing. We will assign 2 dice here, 2 black dice, to any number that we want. I will use a 5, and also I will use a 2. And the rest we will just roll and place here. I'm not having very good rolls today, but that's totally normal with me. So I want to put a 2 here, then I'm going to put a 5 just over here. Actually, instead I will put a 2 here, like that. 2 and a 5. And then I will use a 6. Let's use a white 6. And yeah, with that, I'm actually okay already. So, I will leave it like that because we will be ending our movement anyway. All right, so now we move. I use the 2 to move down here. That is now a dangerous location. So now then we need to do several things. First of all, we interrupt our movement. We can move after we have resolved that. Then we gain 2 experience points. That means we go up here and cross out 2 of these diamonds. If we ever cross out the red one, we level up. I will show you that in just a minute. And then we lose that resource that is depicted there. This is like the boots again, and we lose 1 plus the difference between used white and red black dice. Difference here is 1 because we have used 0 black and 1 white die, and plus 1, right? So we lose 2 boot. That means 1 here, 1 there. At the end of the movement, we have to resolve an event. Okay, let's try to remember that. And with that, this is done. Now this is not a dangerous location anymore. Now this is a safe space. Then I will use this die here to move down here. Same thing, dangerous location. We first of all gain 2 experience. We can level up in just a moment. That is great. And then we check like we have a difference of 0 plus 1 that we always have to spend. So we lose 1 food and we cross out this dangerous location. This one is a safe space now. All right, and then I will use this one to move to the left. And now we will have our battle with the Scorpion. By the way, I don't think I would have done that, right? I don't think I would have taken that die because I still want to level up before I go to the Scorpion, right? That is like one thing that is quite important to me. So instead, I just imagine like I have used these, right? But I would have used the 2 here to turn that into a 3, right? And also I would have used a 6 here. So just like that, right? I would have done it like this. It's still fine, right? I still could have done that because I would have liked to move down here, and then I would have liked to move there to that space, and then I would have like ended my movement, right? So we have another one of these dangerous locations. I would now lose 1. I would gain 2 experience first of all, and then I would lose 1 health. Okay, and then this one is a safe space. I wanted to do it like this because actually you can only level up between turns as far as I know, right? So I can't do it like right before the battle. So that was the end of my turn. I will now level up. So let me show you how that works. We have crossed out one of these red spaces. That means now we can level up. And level up you do down here in the character sheet. And you only all you do is trace 1 dotted line with your pen, right? So you see like there are like dotted lines here and there, and here is 1 and there is 1, because later on when you do battle you need to like move dice around here, and you can only do that on lines that are not dotted, right? So there are like 2 lines I would really like to have. I would like to have this one and that one, and maybe this one later on as well. I will explain to you later why. So let me think now first. Actually, you know what? Let me trace this one here for now. This one. Like that. And automatically put an arrow here so I know which direction it goes, but I should know that. Okay. So that was my level up already. That was already it. Nothing more to that. So and now before we start the next turn, what we need to do is we need to do like the event, right? Because we have an event right here. So let me just cross that out. And how we resolve an event is we just take a die, we roll it, and then we see like here, if we have rolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, what happens? This event can only trigger if we have done the other two. So this is a 4 to 6, so we need a 1 to 3. There's a 2. Had we a 4 to 6 and we can't do that event yet, we have to re-roll, right? But this was a 2, so that means we do event number 1 here. Raven's Flight. A swarm of ravens guides you and shows you the way. At your next movement roll, place all dice with a value of your choice instead of rolling them. Alright, that doesn't help us at all, right? So I'll just cross that out. It doesn't help us at all because we just want to go to the scorpion anyway. That was already the event, so now we do the next movement phase. So we cross out a boot, and then I will just set 2 dice. I will set 1 die at a 4 and 1 die at a 6 in black, just like this, right? And the other dice I will just leave on whatever value. Okay, so then use the 4 to move here and use the 6 to move there. I could have also moved here immediately, but I wanted to use both dice, so I actually don't have to spend any movement. But I could have also spent like just a white one, right? That would have been also enough. So you see, this is also a puzzle in itself already, the movement, right? All right, so now we have our scorpion fight. Okay, we are leveled up. Let's see, we still have a bit of health, so hopefully we can make it. How a battle now works is the following. We take a look at the scorpion here, right? This is like what we need to reach. We take our black dice and put them here in the might box, all at value 1. And then we take like the white dice, put them in the focus area here, usually on 4, 4, 4. But for this scenario, we have 5, 3, and 3 instead, right? So we will put those right here. And now what we can do several things during a battle turn, right? So we can either take a die and put it on like one of these starting diamonds, and then we can like move it down in the direction of the arrows, these lines, right? Not the dotted ones, but the regular ones here. The second thing we can do is we can use our potions and scrolls, but we don't have any, so we will not use any of those. And also what we can do is just stop the fight. Right, if we end the fight and we haven't reached those values here yet, then we need to just drive away the scorpion, but we get like negative effects. So we need to get these dice, these 3 ones, to a 5, at least a 5, and a 4. Not in that order, right? Could also be 4, 5, 4. It doesn't really matter. Could be 4, 6, 5, whatever. But we need to reach at least these values, and we do that by manipulating the dice with the white dice here. So let me just think what we could do. Let's start with the agility one, right? So what I will do is I will put an agility die here on that space, and now we just move it down the line. So we move it down here. You see there's a 1. Like if we go over that 1, that means we need to reduce that by 1 and go down here. Okay. What I will then do, I will go here and reduce this one by another 1, and then we go down here, and now you see there is a red circle, and that one is the pincher grasp of the scorpion. You see like what effect that has. That means we lose another movement, and with losing in 1 more movement we also lose 1 food. All right, so we're getting hungry. Okay, and then we just continue that line here down there. Now we can resolve that effect here. That one means we roll one of these dice, of the black ones. Oh, that is lucky. That is a 6. That is exactly what we need. And we now, the arrow indicates that, push it down to the unleashed section. Unleashed dice are not different than the regular black dice, but they have like 1 difference, and that difference is that like some of these effects have like a line above the dice. That means you can only do that with unleashed dice. That's the only thing. So we'll leave that there. And then I will, then I will go here in order to like spend one more boot. Go down here. And now we could go here. But if we did that, then we would have to subtract 1. And then that die would be below 1. And we would lose it. I don't want to do that. So instead, I'm going to go to the left here. To that line that I just drew a little while ago, right? There is like a red effect again. That is a chitin shell. That means we lose like 1 value on a white die. Let's take this one here, the 4. I think that one is that okay? Yeah, I think that's, it's not perfect, right? But I guess it's okay. No, actually, I don't really want to do that. I think instead I'm going to lose 1 on that one here, I think. Like this. Okay. And then we go to the green circle. The green circle is, let us regain that die up here, but with a value of 2, right? So it's back up here, but only with a 2 this time, but we can work around that. All right, so we have our first die there. Great, and we only lost, what did we lose? Just 1 food so far, so we are okay still. So I will continue doing that. I will put that here on agility. I will go down here, so it will lose 1. And now I will go, will I? Yeah, I think I will go to the right now. And now that's a black one. That means we need to reduce one of the black dice down by 1. So let me reduce that to a 5 here. Because we need no 6, right? 5 is enough. And then here we have that shell again. That one reduces 1 white die by 1. Okay, that's the way it goes. And then we can roll a die. And then put it down to unleashed. Okay, that's a 1. That is like... That is bad. That is bad luck. And then here we lose 1 boot again. And then I will... will I lose that die now? You know what? I will just keep the die there for now and just think of what we can do a little bit later. All right, we need to increase that die by quite a bit, right? That's going to be kind of rough, to be honest. Let me do it like this. Let me take this one here, put it on strength, and then go to the right. That means we lose another boot. That is bad. We trigger the next event after the fight. Oh, we need to hurry up. If we trigger any more events, we will be in trouble. And then we move that down here. Move it to the left. And that one now says we can just re-roll that white die and keep the value. That is a 5. Oh, that is really good. That is really good. Then we go further down here. And now we can increase a black die by that value here, which is like really good. So we increase it by 5, right? So let's increase that one here by 5. So that is now a 6. All right, 5 and 6, that's good. We just need that one up to a 4. That's enough. That's all we need. And then we go down here. We lose another boot, which is a problem. And then we have that here. That's the toxic stinger. 1 black die will be reduced by 1. Let's just take this one here. Reduce that to a 5. So we do have the 2 5s. That's fine. And then this one goes back and we regain it with a 2. All right. Actually, we could do the same thing again, but we would lose like a lot of that boot thing, right? We would lose, well, if we would only lose 1, if we are lucky, we only lose 1 movement. So let's do that again. Let's put that here. Go here. We lose another movement and also with that another food. By the way, if we ever have to pay a supply and we don't have any of those, only that supply, then we need to spend the next higher one, right? So if we don't have coins, we spend food. If we don't have food, we spend determination. If we don't have determination, we spend health. The health potions just help us like have more health, so to speak, right? All right, then we go here, we re-roll that. That's a 6. Okay, that is really, really lucky. So we go down here and we can increase that one by 6. Doesn't work, right? Because it only goes up to a 6, but that's fine. And we just stop. We don't have to keep resolving these dice, right? Because we have reached that threshold. So I will now just end the battle. And since we have reached all of these values, we don't get the negative effect up here. We gain 3 experience. That means we have the next level up here, as you can see. And then we also gain loot. To gain loot, what we do is we look at these dice here that are displayed. 3 white ones and a black one. So we roll these, and now we place them here on our loot table. 1, 2, 3. Oops. If we ever have like a double value in the same color, then we just re-roll that dice, right? So now we look at all of the cross sections we have, these 3, and we gain 2 of these loots because you see these 2 bags. So first of all, we put that potion here. That potion would let us swap 2 white dice. That could be helpful. And then we have like this potion that we could get. That one increases 1 black die that is unleashed by 1. That is really good. I will take that potion here for sure. So let me just take that. And having 1 coin wouldn't be too bad either. So I'm going to take 1 coin as well, just like that. Because we can trade in Sandgate, as you can see here. We can trade, right? Sandgate is just down here. So you might just go there to trade a little bit. I think that might be a good idea. All right. And what we also get is like 1 health potion. That's always good to have. So we just put that there. And then we just cross out that enemy. We cross out the enemy here, right? And that is it. That is how a fight works. So now you have seen a lot. You have seen how events work. You have seen how movement works. You have seen how combat works. But I will still continue playing the game because I think we shouldn't take too much longer actually to finish this up, hopefully. I know the scenario already, right? So I kind of like have a few ideas how we can do this best. I have spent way too many boots here, but I tend to do so. I do that in almost every game. I don't know why. All right, we still have that 1 event, right? That means now we would have to roll a die again, but we don't have to because this event is already gone, right? And this one we can only do when we have done this, so we need to do this anyway, right? The village. You arrive at a village, and once you identify yourself, you are allowed to take from the supplies of the inhabitants. Choose either 2 food, which is a thumbs up, or thumbs down would be 3 scrolls. That is now a little bit tough to know because 2 food is good. That's fine. But I think like 3 scrolls would be even better, right? Ooh, that would be even better. 3 scrolls. I don't know if the thumbs down. I think the thumbs down doesn't have any negative effect at the moment, so I will take the 3 scrolls. That will help, right? So we cross out the thumbs down here. Let me cross out all of that here. And we can now take any of these 3 scrolls here. This one skips a boot. That is very good to have. Because I don't want to trigger the next event if possible, but I have to trigger it anyway, right? But let's see, maybe I don't have to trigger it. Then here we can just put like a white die back on focus. That's really good. So let me take one of those for sure. So we can just put a white die back on focus. And then we take 2 of this one here so we can skip 2 boots. I think that is very nice. All right, we're done with the event as well. So now next turn. So let's talk tactics, strategy. What do we do? And we could go back to Raven Tower to turn in the first quest, right? Because we have crossed out these 2, but we're so close to defeating the spider. So I think I would just go there. That means we need to go up here, spend some money. But that's fine. We have enough coins at the moment. I think we're good there, and then just move to the spider. I think that's what I will do. We just move there. So I would have to cross out a boot now. But I'm not going to cross out that boot. I'm going to use a scroll, so I don't have to use a boot. And now we can go here. So we need to go diagonally for sure, and then 1 more diagonally, and then maybe sometime we need to go to the left. So let me put that one there. All right, now let's roll the dice here. We have all different numbers. That is, in essence, that is good. We put that white here for sure. Then we can move there. I need 1 more diagonal movement, which we don't have at the moment. That is a shame, but we could maybe move up. And then we can't move left, right? No, we could move left down. Yeah, I can't complete the whole movement the way I want to, but okay. I will just leave it like this. So I will move left, then I will move up like this. There is a dangerous location again. So we gain 2 experience and I lose 1 coin. That is fine. And then I will move 1 like this and 1 like that. Okay. I have used equal number of dice for black and white, so we don't lose anything there. But we haven't used all dice. Okay. With that, I'm done for this turn. So I would have to cross out another boot, but I will use my scroll instead. And then let's roll the dice here. Oh, no, wait. Before we do, I can't set like 2 black ones the way I want to. So I definitely need a 3 and a 5, no, a 6. So let me put them like this, and the rest I will just roll and see what we can do here. Okay. Yeah, well, then I will just do it very easy. I will just put a 3 and a 6 like this. And the rest doesn't matter because my movement will end anyway. So put a 6 here in order to move to the left, and the 3 to move here. So we're now at the space with the spider. We take a look here. Equal number of dice, so we lose nothing, and we also gain nothing. So we just have our next battle. All right, so now we will do exactly the same thing, just like what we did with the scorpion, right? So let's do it like this. 5, 3, and 3. By the way, there's also like lines here, so you can also level up this one here, for example, right? And with this one, you would be able to just have a 5 die here. Oh, by the way, that was like last round already, like after this one here. No, even after the battle, we would have. I could have leveled up, right? I didn't do that yet. So this one is nice because with this one I can like really get these high, right? But starting with a 5 here is also really strong. You know what? I think I will do that. I think I will go here and start with a 5 here. I think that's going to help even more. All right, so I suppose let's get started. So I will start with going here, losing 1, and losing another 1, 3, and then here I will lose 1 movement. This time I will have to lose it. Okay, then we go here. I can roll 1 die. That's a 5, very good, and we pull it down. And then I will put that down to a 2, and then and then we can like increase that by 1. And then I will just go here. I will reduce that 1 by 1 because we get it back with a 2 up here. I mean, that wasn't too bad, right? And then I will use, like all of the boots here. That's kind of rough, right? But okay, that's okay. Let's do the 2 here. We lose 1 boot. Then we go here. We will roll that one. That is a 6. Okay, we're really lucky at the moment. We go down here and we increase one of those to 6, like this, right? Okay, so we have 2 at 6 already. As you can see here, we need 6, 5, and 4. So only that to a 4, and we are fine. So actually, I will leave that one there. I will now take, oh, what will I do? I could do this one here, right? I could do that one. I would lose, I think that would be okay. I have an idea. Let me put this one here. Then we go down here. I lose 1. Then I go here. I lose 1 on 1 black die. Doesn't matter which one. Let me just take this one here. Put that to a 5. That's okay. 5, 6. That's totally okay. And then here we lose 1 for a white die. Let me do that one. And then here we can re-roll. And we have a 5. With that, we have already made it, right? Yeah, we have already made it. 5, 5, 6. And we push it down. 5, 5, 6. 5, 5, 6. Yeah, we already made it. Okay, that was very lucky. We were really lucky here. But these battles can be much, much harder, believe me, right? Usually I have like really bad luck here. So, yeah, I'm very lucky this game. So, we defeated the spider. So, we have reached all of these goals. So, I will just end the fight. We get no negative effects, but we get 3 experience. And we can almost level up again. Then we also take 2 white and 2 black dice. We get 3 loot. 3, 2, 5, 3. So what can we get? We can get coin, health, and food. Let's take, we can get how much? 3 things. So let's take, let's take a food, a coin, and maybe a health potion. Sure, let's take all of, like 1 of each. And that's it. So we're done with the spider. We have defeated it here as well. All right, so now let's roll for movement again and hurry back to Raven Tower to turn on our quest. I definitely want a 6. And I also would like a 1. And the rest we will just roll and see. Okay, another 1. That is not too bad. A 5 is not great, but it's okay. A 4 is pretty bad. Oh, wait, maybe I don't want to use a 4. So, now let me plan this here. Yeah, I think I will just put the 2 here as well. And that's it, because the 4 will just put us in the wrong direction. We want to go there, right? To Raven Tower. So, I think I will just do it like this. So, first I will spend a white one here in order to move there. Then a 6 to move there, a 1 to move there, and the 2 to move there. And now this one would move us up or down, but I don't really want that. So I'm just going to leave it like this. So we haven't used all dice, but we have like an equal number, so nothing bad happens. By the way, I forgot to cross off a boot. So we need to go to Stormhurst first, right? Because we still need to turn in that quest here. We haven't done that yet. So let me just quickly do that. That means we need to go to the right for sure. And also we need to go down here like this. So let's roll the rest. Okay, just like this. Let's see. 3, 3, 5, 6. Yeah, I will put the 6 here like this. Let's do it like this. I think that's fine. That means we go right with the 6, and with the 2 we just go down here. The movement ends immediately, but we don't lose any movement. That's fine. So now we do our city encounter in Stormhurst, and this one says, Focus Silver. Are the 2 skulls right below Stormhurst crossed out? Yes, they are. That means we receive a scroll, and I will take another one for skipping the movement, right? Because we're very close to having the next event, and I don't want the large event to happen. So what now? Another thing for this game is now, I will not read this to you now, but just telling you that these events and cities encounters and the events and everything, they have like a little bit more story. I will not read them out now because I want you to realize that for yourself, like experience that for yourself when you get the game, right? But there is like more story here behind that. All right, so that's it. So now we cross out the quest here, right? That we have made that. And for our next turn, we just need to go to Raven Tower. I will not cross out a boot. I will instead use my scroll. And then I need a 6. No, I need a 5 for sure. And also I need a 1. But let's hope we also roll a white die with that. Actually, yes, let me put the 5 here like this. All right, so I spent the 5 to go up and the 1 to go to Raven Tower. So now we can like do all the city encounters in Raven Tower, and there are 2. The first one is a wand. If E is crossed out, which it is, then we receive now the focus silver here, I think it's called, or I think that's called. And now when we would do battle, we would also gain +1 when we refocus our dice, which is pretty cool, but not very helpful anymore now. So we have done quest A, and B is proof. Are the spider and the scorpion defeated? Yes, they are. So we also made that quest. And as you can see here, right, our goal was complete all tasks in the Raven Tower, which we did. Really good. So this is like how the game ends, and we actually won. Yes, and that is how you play Between Light and Shadow, Chapter 1 Dawn by Boardgame Racoon. So, now that you know how to play the game, how do I like it? Well, let me tell you. The box is really small and compact, which I really like. It's easy to store and bring along, and for the amount of game packed inside, that's pretty good. I like that. This is very much a big puzzle. And that's exactly what I enjoy about it. The movement is a puzzle in itself, and so is the combat. Every decision in here feels like really deliberate and also meaningful. The movement can be a bit luck-driven since it's based on dice rolls, but there are ways to slightly mitigate that. It never feels out of control, just unpredictable enough to stay interesting and fresh. The combat puzzle, on the other hand, is extremely thinky and crunchy. That might not appeal to everyone, but I personally really enjoy that kind of mental challenge. Boardgame Racoon once again proves that they publish truly unique games. I honestly can't think of another game I've played that feels quite like this one. And also their other game, Clue, Roll and Heist, is a very unique game. You should check out my playthrough on this channel. I'm also really looking forward to seeing what else they bring to Spiel in Essen this year, especially since the sequel to this game will be released there. So if you liked what you saw today, you'll soon be able to get both this game and the sequel. I also like that the success or whatever happens in one scenario carries over into future scenarios depending on how well you did or what you did. That continuity gives you a sense of progress and long-term purpose, which works quite well here. This is a challenging game, and not only because of its puzzly nature, it's generally tough to win. But it never feels unfair. You need to play tactically, think ahead and prepare properly before engaging the tougher enemies. I was very lucky with my rolls today, so it could have gone much worse. The upgrade and also loot system are another strong point. They add variety, give you meaningful rewards, and increase replayability overall, because you can always choose different paths here, right? I often tend to choose these here because I really like them, right? But there are different paths to pursue, which I really enjoy. The rulebook is a bit of a mixed bag. On the one hand, I really like the tutorial. It walks you through the game in a very clear and approachable way. However, once you move on to later scenarios, it becomes a bit trickier to look up specific rules. I would have preferred a separate tutorial and a rulebook. That said, the glossary at the back helps a lot and makes things easier to find. In general, you can truly feel the passion and love poured into this project, and that alone deserves support and appreciation in my opinion. All in all, Between Light and Shadow, Chapter 1, Dawn is a small box game with a big brain-burning puzzle inside. The combination of tactical movement, challenging combat, meaningful progression, and clever design makes it a standout experience. It's not an easy game by any means, but it's rewarding, unique, and clearly crafted with care and love. Since I really enjoyed this one, Between Light and Shadow, Chapter 1 Dawn earns the silver Sir Thecos Ace of Games Award, and it absolutely deserves this, 100%. Well, that concludes my playthrough and review of Between Light and Shadow Chapter 1 Dawn. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and for sticking to the very end of the video. As usual, my thanks goes out to all of you. A special shout out to my generous patrons. The biggest thanks go out to Thecos for supporting me at the highest tier. I truly appreciate that. You can support me by watching, liking and commenting on my videos, subscribing to my channel, supporting me on Patreon, and joining my Discord server to hang out with me and my amazing community. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the very next video or on my Discord server. Take care everyone, stay safe, and cheers.